Attention. Please be aware that this audiobook has been created independently and is not derived from any published English books. As a result, it does not infringe upon any copyrights. All rights are reserved and belong to the Industrial Engineering Jargon Talks channel. About this book, are you passionate about the field of industrial engineering? Are you seeking inspiration and valuable insights to enhance your knowledge and skills? Then you're at the right place. We highly recommend listening to the captivating audiobook, Every Street is Paved with Gold. This remarkable book offers a wealth of wisdom and experiences specifically tailored to individuals in industrial engineering disciplines such as supply chain management, production, optimization, and more. By immersing yourself in the engaging narratives and practical advice shared within the audiobook, you can gain fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, and valuable strategies to excel in your chosen field. Whether you're a seasoned professional or an aspiring industrial engineer, this audiobook serves as a powerful resource, providing inspiration, guidance, and actionable steps to enhance your career trajectory. Embrace the opportunity to gain insights from industry experts and unlock your full potential. Get ready to embark on a transformative journey that will empower you to conquer challenges, make informed decisions, and pave your way to success in the dynamic world of industrial engineering. Don't miss out on this incredible audiobook experience. Despite being published in 1992, Every Street is Paved with Gold remains a timeless gem that continues to ignite ideas and foster creativity. While some may consider its publication date to be a little dated, it's important to remember that wisdom knows no expiration date. This book has stood the test of time and offers invaluable insights that can still be applied to today's industrial engineering landscape. Introduction by Louis Crayock. After the devastating Korean War, Choong started from scratch and built one of the largest companies in the world. As the founder and chairman of Daewoo, he embodies the vision that has made East Asia a vibrant center of economic growth. He brings a human touch to his endeavors, striving to rescue crisis-ridden companies and breathe new life into them. Choong's restless ability has earned him the reputation of being one of the finest international entrepreneurs. He has created a conglomerate of 22 companies spanning a wide range of industries, from heavy machinery and electronics to piano manufacturing and hospitality. Choong says, "I can smell money anywhere." This 55-year-old man, with his professional and restless mindset, has virtually unlimited access to all corners of the world. He spends over half of the year traveling worldwide to discover potential opportunity. He imports Korean cars and sends them to Czechoslovakia. He produces video devices in Ireland, and he is the owner of a microchip design company in Silicon Valley, California. Choong is not only a familiar name in the West, but Americans are surrounded by his products. Lehman's cars, Pontiac elevators, parts of Boeing airplanes, and various computers, including their productions. It's no wonder that in 1991, the Daewoo Group announced sales exceeding $35 billion, even surpassing companies like Xerox, Kodak, and IEJAR Nabisco. Kim demonstrates why the economic power is shifting from the West to Asia, benefiting all nations in practice. He is the Asian counterpart of Andrew Carnegie or John D. Rockefeller, but with the difference that Kim has a unique spirit of selflessness and initiative. Anyone can learn a lot from him. especially his exceptional skills in motivating people, and his adventurous life makes Horatio Alger's stories almost pale and insignificant. Taerim wrote this book, one of the best-selling books in Korean, which is essentially a collection of his short articles addressed to Korean youth, but carries a global message as well. This current book is an adaptation and expansion of the original book. This book has been met with widespread acclaim in South Korea, similar to the reception of thought-provoking and meaningful books by Lee Iacocca, the former CEO of Chrysler in the United States. Taerim's wisdom is the product of his resolute personality. He finds work more exhilarating than leisure and detests the idea of money being spent solely on indulgence. His Neo-Confucian views have been instrumental in South Korea's rise as an industrial powerhouse and in the impressive performance of other East Asian countries. One of the factors that sets Kim's book apart from being just a moral discourse by a successful business owner is the inclusion of his personal life experiences. Kim has a special talent for turning challenges into career opportunities. He was compelled to spend the spring of 1989 on the southern island of Koji at the Daewoo Shipyard in Okyu to put an end to a strike. He made use of those long nights and wrote this book. He is considered a daring risk-taker in the Third World. Kim risked over $1 billion in Libya for non-military construction contracts. During the height of the Iran-Iraq War, he initiated the construction of railways in Iran. He does not consider these efforts as recklessness. Kim says, "When you enter an environment full of risk and danger, you carefully consider all aspects of the work." So, in reality, there is no further risk involved. Additionally, he only accepts projects that encompass clear and evident benefits for the people of the country, projects that will remain strong despite regime changes caused by extremists and radical forces. Whether the new government will remain loyal to a hypothetical project or not is an ethical and economic test for Kim. Kim certainly has motivations for his activities, but his drive is not excessive. He has built the 45th largest company on Earth and accumulated considerable wealth. However, he has dedicated a significant portion of his wealth to public foundations such as healthcare services, basic scientific research, and education. Just as he once stated, making money is not important to me because I can make money whenever I want. However, he admits that his driving force in building large enterprises was, to some extent, the necessity of rescuing South Korea from poverty and scarcity. Kim's true satisfaction lies in the fulfillment of his ambitions, as he puts it. "I didn't work tirelessly just to earn a few dollars," and finds joy in accomplishing what others believe to be impossible. Taerim holds a prominent position in the business world of South Korea. His company, Daewoo, is one of the conglomerates known as chaebols, along with Samsung and Hyundai, that have flourished with substantial government funding and now exert influence over the South Korean economy. However, he rejects the common practice in Korea of using his companies to build an immensely wealthy family dynasty. Taerim states, "Daewoo is not something I can or want to pass on to my family. I hope to be evaluated as a business owner who understands the difference between ownership and leadership." At times, he appears so good that it seems unreal. Although Kim belongs to a generation, he himself calls the sacrificial generation, a generation that has endured extraordinary hardships. He was born in a country torn apart by chaos and turmoil. Japan occupied Korea relentlessly for 5 years until 1945, and then the Korean War imposed further division, splitting the Korean nation in two. As Kim puts it, they destroyed the insignificant industry we had. Following the division of Korea, the West preferred to portray South Korea as a hopeless and bankrupt country. Kim helped and proved that this assessment was ridiculous. He graduated from university when the per capita income in Korea barely reached $76 a year, and now it exceeds $40,000. Tim ventured into the automotive and shipbuilding industries in the 1970s, entered the electronics industry in the 1980s, and in the 1990s, he embarked on the production of aerospace industry products. Rather than being a solitary showman, Kim has transformed his effectiveness by assembling a workforce of over 90,000 employees and inspiring them with his innovative and fearless mindset. This approach has led to a substantial increase in productivity. Dr. Park Sung-Hugh, a former executive in the Daewoo telecom industry, made the decision to return to his native land, driven by Kim's commitment to nationalism and Confucian principles. Dr. Park acknowledges that Kim empowers his executives with significant decision-making authority. Kim's adventures, both within his homeland and abroad, have gained him widespread recognition. In June 1984, he was awarded the International Business Prize by King Carl Gustaf of Sweden, and every 3 years, the International Chamber of Commerce honors him with the same award for his entrepreneurial contributions in promoting free trade through the establishment or expansion of his own company. In 1988, the Korean edition of The Economist conducted a survey and selected Kim as the most respected businessman in Korea. The following year, the UNESCO representation in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, named him the Man of the Year for his economic assistance and dedication to his work. The governments of Pakistan and Sudan also honored him for his contributions to their country's economic development. In both the United States and Korea, he has received honorary accolades, and Korean female students have recognized him as a business figure who instills the greatest sense of trust and inspiration. Kim acknowledges his personal weaknesses. He says, "I have no talent for painting or music. I suppose it's a kind of imbalance, but all my focus is on business." Outsiders may attribute other flaws to him. His rivals in Korea consider Kim a bold individual who takes significant risks. As one of his competitors puts it, he has an almost reckless enthusiasm for every job opportunity. Some bankers are reluctant to take the risks he takes in volatile and unpredictable third world countries, including in the regime of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, which has an unstable and unpredictable regime. Western countries are perplexed by how long Kim can motivate his employees to work long hours for relatively low wages. Despite the considerable increase in wages in Korea in recent years, Kim remains determined to encourage workers to maintain their commitment to self-sacrifice. His book is a part of his broader efforts to support Kim in his unparalleled drive for relentless pursuit. The obedient and affordable workforce that was the initial basis of Kim's success has gradually faded as South Korea shifted towards a democratic government in the mid-1980s. Unions have repeatedly organized long strikes for higher wages. In just a few years, the country's production wages have doubled and surpassed the $650 monthly mark, which is significantly higher than other ambitious Asian countries like Thailand and the Philippines. Meanwhile, the exchange rate of the South Korean won against the US dollar has been favorable, taking away the competitive edge from the dollar and greatly benefiting Kim. Additionally, the leaders of Korean business, who were once regarded as the pioneers of Korea's economic advancement, are now widely accused of being Eastern land thieves. Politicians lament the unhealthy concentration of power and wealth, with allegations that certain families have established themselves as the controllers of most Korean conglomerates, owning half of their total assets. Kim, who had voluntarily pledged his personal shares to charitable organizations long before this controversy arose, states, "Today, there is widespread outcry as the majority of profits end up in the hands of major shareholders." The Korean government is currently exerting pressure on other companies to transfer their shares to the public and establish publicly owned joint stock companies, much like how Daewoo took this voluntary step years ago. Kim's passion for work has distinguished him among his colleagues, earning him the nickname Taosa. Taosa, meaning master, reflects his role as a mentor who guides his students to achieve feats beyond what may appear possible, akin to flying through the air. Right from the start, his leadership philosophy emphasized a strong dedication to serving customers. This commitment is evident in their willingness to accept orders even when it involves flying fabric from Japan to Korea, manufacturing the required garments despite the potential loss. With great persistence and determination, Kim began manufacturing clothing for major retailers in the United States in the 1970s. He purchased American shirts in various sizes, disassembled them, and meticulously replicated them. Daewoo set up sales offices in New York, a city where Kim often visited customers without prior appointments. He recalls, "Instead of meeting 2 or 4 customers a day, I would visit 10. By introducing a sample of the American clothing fitting system in Korea, Kim was able to overcome the reluctance and disinterest of chain stores like Caesar to purchase Korean clothing. When Europe and America announced quotas for clothing imports, Kim's company secured the largest allocation of credit in Korea and reaped substantial profits. This achievement was made possible through Kim's effective utilization of information, one of his key business strategies. During his first trip to the United States in 1970, Kim became aware of the potential challenges posed by import restrictions that could create obstacles for his business. With astuteness and foresight, he prepared himself to effectively address these issues. Import allocations in the United States were typically based on the previous performance of foreign companies. However, Daewoo managed to secure a remarkable 40% of the total import allocation for Korean goods, resulting in significant profits for his company. Kim's strategic approach and determination played a pivotal role in achieving this remarkable success. Through strategic entry into less competitive industries, Kim successfully diversified Daewoo Company's portfolio. He expanded beyond textile exports to establish in-house manufacturing capabilities, venturing into the production of handbags and gloves. Recognizing a gap in financial activities among major Korean companies, Kim made astute investments in banks, financial institutions, and insurance firms. Notably, Daewoo's expansion was fueled by acquiring distressed companies and reviving them under his guidance. Kim firmly emphasizes a different approach, stating, "I refrain from hostile takeovers." Instead of resorting to asset liquidation and employee layoffs, He injects capital and retains seasoned management teams, ensuring the preservation of jobs. Kim's perspective on troubled companies sets him apart from other executives as he focuses on leveraging existing resources and exploring untapped potential rather than just fixating on challenges. This strategic mindset has been instrumental in Daewoo's sustained growth and success. As highlighted in a recent study by renowned broker James Capel, Kim Woo-choong's astute capital utilization has earned him a reputation as a financial management expert, distinguishing him from other executives in the Korean retail chain industry. Kim Woo-choong's remarkable ability to strategically acquire a series of companies propelled Daewoo to the forefront of Korean retail chains. Political relations played a pivotal role in the remarkable growth of Daewoo and other retail chain companies. In 1976, the late South Korean President Park Chung-hee granted Kim the opportunity to venture into heavy industries, a decision that proved to be highly influential. President Park, who had been a former university classmate of Kim's father at Mady Gunnermal University, provided Daewoo with valuable resources and support without any bias or discrimination. The Park administration's provision of low-interest credits to successful exporters further fueled the rapid economic expansion of South Korea. In essence, the Korean government extended its support to business owners who demonstrated their potential for success. Notably, Kim was even invited to acquire shares of a financially distressed state-owned machinery factory, which had been operating at a loss for an astonishing 37 years. The weight of the responsibility seemed daunting to all Daewoo executives, but Kim couldn't ignore the proposition. He even temporarily set aside his personal rule of not employing relatives and invited his brother, Kim Woo-choong, an economist and university professor, to assume a senior management role in Daewoo. This allowed him to focus on the machinery factory. Kim's brother stated, "I had a duty to assist him because he was risking everything." Kim, as the CEO, worked at the factory for several months, immersing himself in the operations, even eating and sleeping there. The factory is now known as Daewoo Heavy Industries. During those months, he transformed the factory inside out, encountering immense challenges. He remarked, "I have never experienced such hardship in my life." Kim's dedication to the factory was unparalleled as he immersed himself fully in its operations. He spent extensive hours within the premises, actively involved in every aspect of its functioning. His tireless commitment and hands-on approach set him apart from other executives, earning him the reputation of a true leader. During his time at the factory, Kim swiftly identified the challenges at hand. The regular 8-hour shifts for the production workers proved insufficient for them to sustain their livelihoods. Despite their overtime efforts, the output fell short of expectations. Determined to address these issues, Kim made a pivotal decision. He agreed to pay the workers for 12-hour shifts, ensuring fair compensation for their extended labor. But his commitment didn't stop there. Recognizing the need for an improved working environment, he invested a substantial amount, equivalent to more than half of the company's capital, in modern facilities such as a state-of-the-art cafeteria, a sophisticated salon, and comfortable housing for the employees. His aim was to boost morale and foster a sense of pride in their work. In a strategic move, Kim capitalized on cost-saving opportunities by making bulk purchases of German diesel engine components. This maneuver not only resulted in significant savings, but also allowed him to address a pressing issue. Prior to Daewoo's control, the factory faced challenges as Korean truck manufacturers acquired licenses and permissions for these engines from the German government. To eliminate any potential dependence on imports, Kim proactively produced an additional 10,000 engines, leaving no room for excuses. These actions exemplify Kim's visionary thinking, meticulous planning, and unwavering dedication to the company's success. His leadership approach set a new standard in the industry, earning him the respect and admiration of his peers and employees alike. Tim's success in heavy machinery manufacturing brought him more than just the reputation of a shrewd businessman. The acquisition and transformation of the company fueled his ambitions and set a new course for Daewoo. As Kim puts it, if we hadn't bought this factory, we wouldn't have been able to produce the high-rise cranes for Caterpillar or the aircraft components for Boeing. After Kim became confident in his ability to cure companies' ailments like a doctor, he urged the government to allow Daewoo to purchase a Korean automobile factory affiliated with General Motors in America. The Daewoo Motor Kim factory, in which 50 belongs to General Motors, produces Pontiac Lehman's cars for the Korean and American markets. However, what mattered more to Kim in the long run was the 4 joint investments with General Motors to produce various automotive components for export. Many of the internal components of General Motors models, which are assembled elsewhere, are manufactured by Kim's factories. Ultimately, Kim expects that the export of automotive components will yield greater profitability than the export of complete vehicles. Daewoo's sales partnership with Czechoslovakia has caused dissatisfaction among its Detroit-based partner. General Motors insists on having its affiliated German company handle the sales in Europe, leading to strained relations between Daewoo and General Motors. Kim explains, there is a fundamental difference in philosophy. The American approach questions the target market for sales. However, we believe that if we can achieve competitive manufacturing, why shouldn't we be able to sell directly? Tim proudly emphasizes that General Motors still distributes Korean-made cars through its own dealerships in the United States, resulting in increased overhead costs and subsequently higher retail prices for the Lehman's vehicles. Kim's determination to increase market share clashed with General Motors' focus on short-term profits, leading to tensions between the two parties. The American company grew frustrated with past quality control issues which have since been resolved and rising labor costs. However, Kim took decisive action by acquiring a 50% stake in Daewoo Motors from General Motors, putting an end to the conflict. Despite the initial disagreements and dissatisfaction, Kim ensured a smooth and positive separation, allowing for continued automobile exports to the United States and safeguarding joint investments in automotive component production. Daewoo has approximately 80 offices worldwide, and Kim travels to all these locations in various countries. He engages with economists, traders, journalists, and government officials to gather information. Kim emphasizes his ability to sense both risks and opportunities, stating that he wants to have first-hand information so he can make informed decisions. In a burgeoning market, Kim surprised his workforce by presenting a significantly reduced bid for a large-scale construction project, dubbing it the cost of acceptance strategy. By sacrificing short-term profits, Kim aimed to pave the way for greater business opportunities. With unwavering determination, he expanded Daewoo's presence into China and Eastern Europe, recognizing the untapped potential beyond traditional markets. Presently, Daewoo manufactures refrigerators in southern China and has secured contracts for exporting electronic equipment and machinery to Hungary, where Kim has also established a joint investment bank. Demonstrating his commitment to global expansion, Kim inaugurated Daewoo offices in strategic cities such as Moscow, Sofia, Warsaw, and Ho Chi Minh City. Kim has assumed the role of an unofficial ambassador for his country, as his forays into different markets have facilitated South Korea in establishing diplomatic ties with numerous trading nations. Countries like Algeria, Hungary, and former Soviet states have been among the beneficiaries of Kim's diplomatic endeavors. Notably, Kim has also crossed a significant barrier by engaging in trade with North Korea. In January 1989, with his government's approval, he embarked on a historic visit to the communist nation. Kim characterizes North Korea as the world's last untapped market, and he successfully negotiated a deal to set up a factory producing various goods, including suitcases, toys, canvas shoes, and shirts. Kim believes in the potential of combining South Korea's capital and technical expertise with the disciplined and cost-effective workforce of North Korea to produce highly competitive export goods. One of his significant endeavors in Korea has been the revival of a struggling shipbuilding factory, a project he initially hesitated to undertake. In 1978, the Korean government urged him to acquire a majority stake in the factory and bring it back to operation. Although only a quarter of the project was completed and the factory faced significant financial challenges, Kim eventually agreed to the proposal during one of his foreign trips. This shipbuilding facility, now known as Daewoo Shipbuilding, has become a testament to Kim's exceptional skills. To promote its success, Kim embarked on a global journey to sell ships, initially encountering difficulties. Undeterred, he pursued a bold strategy, constructing a technologically advanced stainless steel tanker tailored for chemical transportation. He sold this tanker to a Norwegian transportation company under the condition that they could refuse delivery if it failed to meet their satisfaction. While the deal didn't yield immediate profits, the exceptional quality of the tanker earned acclaim in 1982. However, the challenges faced by the shipbuilding factory persisted. To address the crisis, Kim took a remarkable risk, putting his reputation and $27 billion of his own capital on the line to transform the struggling facility. This demonstrates his unwavering commitment to revitalizing the shipbuilding industry and fostering its growth. Driven by his boldness and determination, Kim has undertaken a remarkable endeavor, transforming the Daewoo Shipbuilding factory into a hub for producing small cars, heavy trucks, and excavation machinery. With the Korean government holding a 33% stake in the factory, they provide half of the required capital as an interest-free loan, while Kim himself secures the remaining funds. To finance this venture, he sells his shares in a profitable brokerage firm, directing the proceeds towards the shipbuilding facility. During the past 2 years, Kim has passionately devoted his time to addressing labor concerns at the factory, particularly during a distressing strike in 1989 that tragically led to the loss of 2 lives. Kim emphasizes the importance of resolving political and labor disputes in Korea, advocating for a healthy and harmonious environment. As he asserts, grievances are listened to attentively, and efforts are made to reach agreements and foster reconciliation. Kim recognizes the need to elevate living standards in Korea, acknowledging that labor costs remain lower than those in Japan and the United States. Capitalizing on this advantage, he endeavors to enhance production capabilities. One notable strategy involves automating the factories and employing robot technology engineered by his own team to manufacture efficient diesel engines. Kim's visionary approach aims to ensure higher wages for workers while driving the industry forward. Kim maintains an optimistic outlook for the future. He acknowledges the profitability of the shipbuilding factory in 1989 as a significant achievement. However, he expresses deep concern about the diminishing competitive edge of the United States. Kim worries that the nation's brightest minds are increasingly drawn to fields such as law, banking, and investment, while neglecting the importance of production and effective marketing strategies. He is troubled by reports in the American media highlighting the negative impact of alcohol and drugs on the American workforce. Nevertheless, Kim also observes a renewed sense of work ethic and a fresh spirit of progress emerging in America, which brings him a sense of joy. While he holds admiration for the United States, his critique of the country's current state echoes the sentiments of business leader Lee Iacocca. Kim remarks that American companies no longer resemble their past selves, as the focus has shifted from relentless pursuit and conquest to a preference for leisure, sports, and luxurious homes, raising questions about maintaining competitiveness without sacrificing core values. Overall, Kim's perspective reflects a nuanced view of the changing dynamics in American business and society, as well as his hopes for revitalizing the spirit of enterprise and fostering a strong work culture. In a similar vein, Kim is concerned that if South Korea achieves prosperity and wealth, the country's youth may start to perceive it as being as affluent as America and become inclined towards indulgence and pleasure-seeking. He cautions against complacency, stating, "It's a dangerous sign when we sit back in a corner and feel satisfied." Despite his pursuit of financial success, Kim is eager to instill a sense of passion in his fellow countrymen, the same drive that has propelled him in his own life. He advises them to find untapped territories where others have not yet ventured and to undertake endeavors that no one else has dared to pursue. He acknowledges that he harbors another ambition, which is to create a product globally recognized as the best of its kind. Holding up a lighter, he says, "Instead of a Dunhill, people might one day use a Kim Woo-choong." Those who know Kim believe that his aspiration for producing a lighter goes beyond a mere object and will ultimately be realized, as his book demonstrates. Kim has previously offered a global lesson to anyone ambitious enough to make him their role model. "Wherever I go, I immediately figure out where the money is. I used to jokingly say that every street is paved with gold. So, without much effort, I managed to acquire a substantial amount of it. Of course, there are places in the world where money doesn't flow freely, and making money in those locations is not an easy task. It requires hard work and great effort. Nonetheless, I made this joke to demonstrate where my true interests lie. Like a painter seeking refuge in nature to capture a landscape, I am solely interested in finding and depicting beautiful scenery." Just as an angler constantly remembers suitable spots for fishing, I, as an entrepreneur, seek out avenues to create new business and commerce.